Coming up, we finally got a taste of Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Stay tuned as we break down the trailer. Welcome to the Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. Before we get started, do not forget to subscribe down below, hit the thumbs up, and hit that bell. That way you know when these videos are dropping. Tex, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh man, howdy everybody, howdy Arturo. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. We've talked about this before on please go check out the Morgue archives. We have we have a little talk about when we found out The Mummy was a thing, and also kind of started talking about, you know, just the other Mummy projects that have been in the works. And we found out that like the Brendan Fraser one is they also confirmed that too with for release in 2028 with Rachel Weisz returning. Yep. And it is Rachel Weisz, right? It's not like they're not going all the way back.
Not Maria Bello. We're not doing it with the Dragon Emperor again. Thank goodness for that. Because like just before we got into Lee Cronin's thing, I sat down and watched The Mummies earlier this week, and it's just insane to me that they've decided to recast Rachel Weisz as Evie in part 3. I got when I started watching, I'm like, wait a minute, is this Evie or is this a whole different person?
I didn't know they recast her as like the same, like pretending it was the same character, which I had no idea.
Yeah, dude. So apparently her big issue was that they had aged their son to be 21 in this third movie, where he was only 9 in the previous. So she was like, I don't want to be known in Hollywood right now as a 30-something-year-old woman with a 21-year-old son in a movie.
And which is fair. It's definitely fair because also that's such like a big time jump too. And it's not even like I don't think it made sense in the span between Mummy Returns and Dragon Emperor.
Because that was back in 01. So Mummy Returns came out in 01 and Dragon Emperor came out in 08. Like,
7 years. Yeah, no, that's no. And you wouldn't buy that. You honestly wouldn't buy it especially because Brendan Fraser was still his same age too. Like it was, you would buy that in this one. Honestly, in this movie, if he came out and he was like 20 something, and then it's like, okay, you can buy that they have a child that age, right? But no, that's what I had no idea. I've never seen Dragon Emperor. I'm curious. I am gonna jump in. Like we're in a real Mummy mood, especially with this one.
That Mummy's best left undisturbed.
Yeah. It's like. Just as a quick aside too, before we even get into this, like let's do some house cleaning, right? Let's do some Mummy house cleaning out of the way. I recently watched the Tom Cruise Mummy one. I've never seen it either. Like dark. It was supposed to start the Dark Universe, and it's not great. Like you watch it and you're like, oh, okay, this is why the Dark Universe died, right? Because you're like, oh, it's just isn't good. It's Tom Cruise, but he's not Ethan Hunt. He's not like any of his classic personalities. He's got this new kind of like, he's kind of like a rapscallion. You know, he's like a treasure hunter, but then he gets like these superpowers of like the death god, and like
what?
Yeah, like you
that sounds like nothing like I thought would happen in that movie. He gets superpowers.
Yeah, because he becomes like the god of death, or like he gets the powers of the god of death. Because
becomes like Anubis.
That's because that's the whole deal with the new Mummy, and she was like cursed with that, and she wanted to pass it on or whatever into like a human vessel, and like then Tom Cruise became that vessel, and he was getting poised to be like this god who was going to face off against whatever dark forces the Dark Universe.
I know the perfect person for these powers. Cole Trickle, all right? He can turn that corner real quick.
Exactly it. Where it's like, you had Russell Crowe as like Dr. Jekyll, and it was going to be this whole thing. And it's so funny looking back on it. You look at their like ambition, and you're like, oh, okay, that's why it failed. It just wasn't good. And so this is all to say, like setting up the longest table we've ever set up before. Like this is all to say, we got the trailer for Lee Cronin's The Mummy, yet another new take on the Mummy franchise, the Mummy as a monster itself. And with this trailer, the last time we talked about this, we didn't get any footage yet. It was just that teaser that kind of like set the tone. And now we have like a full monster movie tone. Like this is full. I honestly, Arturo, you would probably define this better than I do, but like, I don't know what this is. I don't know like what you would classify it as. Like,
oh my goodness. This would for sure fall under monster movie / folk horror because of the the mummy stuff involved and all the ritualistic stuff involved with mummies. It's definitely folk horror, but as you said, straight up monster movie, dude. Like we
Yeah.
finally get a full reveal about this whole narrative and what's going on in the story. It's completely
Yes.
different than from any other mummy movie that's been in theaters or out there at all. In this one, we're dealing with a little girl. This
Yes.
little girl, Katie, who's been missing for like 8 years. And in the trailer, her parents get the phone call from an embassy saying, "Hey, we found your daughter." And apparently she was, from what we gather from the trailer, she's
She's
been
been buried in a
buried
sarcophagus.
in a sarcophagus that's 3,000 years old. She's alive. We see little glimpses of her skin and the wear and tear that's been done to her. And my goodness,
It looks gnarly. Yeah.
dude, it's a very jarring kind of narrative, because in one sense, yes, it's horror and fiction, but in another sense, there's like they included a bunch of stuff about children missing in Egypt
Yeah.
and like a slew of children. So there's like crazy like social commentary undertones about real
Yes.
world horrors on top
Yeah.
of this fictional mummy monster horror we get here. So this movie is set up to be quite the interesting
You know,
experience.
and it's funny because it still kind of lines up with the other Universal monster reboots that we've gotten, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
with the Invisible Man, where Invisible Man was also kind of like social commentary horror, just very
Mhm.
abrasive
Yeah.
and terrible man, possessive, just taking that to the extreme of like just a constant figure in a woman's life, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. And then with Wolfman, uh not so much social commentary as so much as like what's happening here, but like it's a guy just going wild on his family, and
Yeah.
but
That's
it's
not the best example of
no
this
but
Universal monsters, but it
but
is
it's in this
still,
vein. It's in
yes,
this
it's
vein,
still in
right? Of
line
like,
with this grounded
yes,
territory that we're kind of walking through here with these Universal properties ever since Lee Wanell released Invisible Woman. Invisible Man. And again, this thing looks gnarly, as Tech said.
yeah.
The narrative looks grounded. On top of that, you do have all this crazy mummy stuff going on.
I
Like,
think I think that's the thing, right? Like,
I have no idea what to expect, Tex.
yeah, because like I kind of want to know if like is it still grounded, right? Because it's like you can only go so far with the mummy, because the mummy
Mhm.
is such like the mummy is like I was trying to quantify earlier. Is it a ghost? Is it a zombie?
Mm.
Is it like it's kind of all of that, right? But then also specifically, it's Egyptian, and it's like old worldy, and it's a very specific type of thing, right? And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm looking at this. You tell this grounded story, but then at the end of the day, it still kind of has to have a mummy in it. So it's
Yes.
like there's still like ancient Egyptian codexes, and there's still an ancient sarcophagus, and there's still probably some curse that they got to deal with and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. But
And
this is why I also deem it folk horror, because
there you go.
ancient
Yes.
Egyptian kind of scary stuff is kind of akin to witchcraft. All the ritualistic stuff, all the codexes, the different like languages, the interpretations, the different kind of a ritualistic manner that both of these things have. So I think we're definitely gonna get a very dark take here of the mummy. In terms of action and stuff like that, I don't know yet what to
Yeah.
expect. We do see a couple different scenes here in the trailer of like a cop inside a tomb investigating stuff. We don't know what's going to happen there. We see this little girl Katie seems to be terrorizing people, which is pretty
Yeah.
awesome actually. So I'm
It's one of
curious,
those
man. I'm curious. Very excited.
right, because it's like it's looking like it's going to be less like jump scares, mummy jump scares, and more we're going to gradually see wild visuals over the course of the movie. I feel like it's and that a slower pace would make more sense for a mummy movie in general. Mummies are
Hmm.
slow. When you
Yeah.
think mummies, right? Like just the classic interpretation of a mummy, it's just like a bandaged zombie walking out with like both hands in front of it, right?
Or a
And it's
sexy
like,
emo tap, depending which depending
yeah.
which one you like.
Honestly, yeah, that's the thing too. A sexy Imhotep, like you got to oil him up, right? You got to go full with that. But like, yeah, and that it's but slow. That's all. Like that's what you think. And so a slow paced kind of where you see her, if it looks like what it looks like in the trailer and she's pulling her skin off slowly, that's cool stuff. I can imagine how cool that's going to be, like sitting there and just watching her peel off her skin. And but I guess the biggest question we kind of go into here, we just look at this trailer in general, look at how cool it is like it's once again, it's putting a lot on a very young actress's shoulders with all of this. Like she is going to have to really,
Yep.
really do the job to
That's
like
a great
'cause
point. That's a great point,
it's
actually.
it
Mhm.
because she is the mummy, and like we get the scenes where she's full mummy monster mode and talking and all that stuff, and we see that, but it's like how is that going to be in the full film? How, with a slower pace and with a monster like this that's just all going to be this little girl, it's asking quite a bit from her. And that's my, like, of course it's a big, that's a big plus going in, right? You're like, yes, you're gonna have they're going, this is ambition. This is, you're doing an ambitious thing by putting so much on a child, but that's also the big fear going in. It's like,
Mhm.
it's, is this young actress going to be able to handle it? And unfortunately, like, it's like, yeah, you hate to look at it through those lenses, but if she
It's the
can't,
Yeah.
that's we're gonna notice that, and we're gonna call
Listen,
it out when we watch it, right?
yes, exactly, because that's honestly the only lens right now that we can view this through without seeing the full movie. Is that, hey,
Hmm.
we have this character who's a mummy, and then on top of that, they chose to cast this mummy as a girl, a little
Yeah,
girl. So you definitely have that worry, in the back of your mind. Is this gonna play out positively? Like, because we've seen in the past when movies depend too much on child actors who are not ready to handle that load, it kind of falls
yeah,
apart.
yeah,
And I'm hoping it doesn't happen here. But we have again, I don't know the extent to which we're gonna be seeing the different stages of this Katie character, right?
yeah,
Decomposition, mummy. She in the trailer, you see her as a fully pink flesh little girl, and then you see her as a mummified little girl talking. So we have different instances of her in different kinds of stages of decay, of mummification, whatever you want to call it. So her acting for sure is going to come to the forefront in those
yeah,
scenes because it's going to fall so heavily on her because that's the scene. Like, even in the
yeah,
trailer, you see her a lot. Like, that's the shot. It's her
yeah.
on screen
She
just
she
acting and
is
emoting.
she is the title character, right?
Yeah.
She is the mummy, and that's kind of the thing where it's the same thing where you kind of rely on, you pin a lot of hopes on like suit actors and stuff like that when you do like these horror movies in general, right? Where it's like, yeah, because it's not only that, it's performance plus
Mhm.
physicality. And when you have a monster movie, like those things really need to hit. Like, it's not
Yeah.
only like, and it sucks too, because it's like, yes, it's double pressure, right? Because it's like, she's not only a character in the narrative, she's the monster itself, right? And
She's
it's,
the character. Yep. Exactly.
yeah, and it's like, and when you watch a monster movie, you want a good monster in it, you want a thing to succeed. And that's with this mummy. You're like, okay, if I'm going into a mummy movie in 2026, I want a scary mummy. It's like,
Hmm.
I want
Yeah.
like a cool one. And that's going to be on her shoulders. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. And she needs to also be supported by an adult cast that can, like, handle the fear part of it, right? Like, are they going to be able to, you've got, what's his name from Midsommar,
Yeah. You got
who,
the main guy from Midsummer who goes in that bear suit and gets burned alive, but his
yeah,
eyes
yeah,
are looking
spoilers
as
for
lost as ever in that
Midsommar.
trailer.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I know that guy from somewhere. Oh, you're the
Yeah,
bear suit.
yeah,
The
spoilers for
text.
Midsommar. Go see Midsommar,
But
that
I
on
do
top of that.
have
Yeah,
hope here. Lee Cronin has done horror in the past with children. Hole in the Ground had a mother and her son in that story. In Evil Dead Rise, he deals with
yeah,
several children of different ages as well, and also directed them very well because the children
yeah,
were not the bad parts of those movies.
yeah, they were
Um,
great.
yeah, so I do have some hope that based on his experience working with child actors and working with child actors in these environments, in the horror environment, he's had
Yes,
great
yes,
success. I
great
am
point.
hoping that it it does translate here. I want this to succeed, Tex. I really want this to succeed
Yeah,
really bad, especially for Lee Cronin. I'm a fan of Lee Cronin, and this trailer alone, man, a lot of gnarly vibes, a lot of just creepy, like oh my goodness, what is
It's
going on kind of vibes. And I'm
it's
excited about it.
unexpected, right? Because it's like
Yes.
we've spent decades watching action focused mummy movies, right?
Hmm.
Because you go back to the Brendan Fraser one, like I dogged on the Tom Cruise one, but that's another action heavy mummy movie, and so now we're getting a director who's taking it back to horror, and that's part of it too. It's like, you want it to succeed because you want horror to succeed, which is, it's so funny in retrospect that like horror is having this big boom because you have these directors who are kind of taking back to cinematic roots, right? Like with Sinners, you had
Hmm.
vampires. When was the last time we had a big vampire movie that was like using the whole, ketchup looking blood as like part of the aesthetic, right? Like
Yeah.
when was the last time we've seen that? And look how well that did, and it got nominated for like a billion Oscars and stuff. And you look at that, and you look at the Mummy, where it's like it's trying to be a scary mummy movie again, which we haven't seen since when, like, seriously, like when was the
Since
last
forever.
time, right? Like when was the last time they attempted a scary mummy movie?
See, but that's the
Like,
thing. Like mummies, because of the nature of their look and everything, they really haven't been personified as a frightening kind of entity.
very
It's
true.
not like you're a Frankenstein or a Dracula. Like it's like you said, mummies are slow moving things wrapped in toilet paper. All right. So now that we've had several iterations of action mummies, as Tex was saying, all the action movies from the early 2000s and stuff like that, and the Tom Cruise one, now we're getting back here to the root of where the Universal property came from, right? Back
Yeah.
in the 30s, where the horror was at its core. So I am hoping that Lee Cronin does stick to his own guns here. You know what I mean? Like, don't just do you. You know what I mean? Like, you've done a great job so far with your movies, just doing your vision and your take on stuff. And
Yeah.
and I think that's exactly what we're gonna get here. This is why this trailer is so significant, because it's a jarring trailer. It's unexpected. We had no clue what to expect from a Lee Cronin mummy movie when we heard about the announcement last year. And now we're seeing the first trailer, the first full trailer, and I am not disappointed at all, Tex.
Yeah.
I really hope
Yeah.
this one succeeds, man.
Yes, and it just gives you a lot to think about, right? Because it's
Mhm.
like you're so right about like what happened to what would have happened to mummies, right? Because like I'm trying to remember, there was a you remember that Mummies Alive cartoon, Arturo?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, he
That
has
was
the
cool.
mummies.
But again, that was action,
But
right?
yes, that's exactly it. Where it's like you
Yeah.
see visions like that, you think like Abbott and Costello meet the mummy. You think like you
Hotel
think of
Transylvania mummy.
Hotel Transylvania mummy. You think of the joke of them getting wound up for toilet paper. Like you think of what have happened
Mhm.
to mummies, right? And
No respect.
compare, yeah. And that's it. It's Rodney Dangerfield, right? It's like,
There's no
oh, no
respect. No
respect.
respect.
But yeah, like it's so like that's at the end of the day, I that's what I agree with too. Where it's like you're trying a horror mummy movie, and I kind of I really just want it to work because of that, right? Where it's
Mhm.
like you
Yes.
just for horror's sake, right? Of just like because we saw what happened with Wolfman, right? And please go check out our review
R.I.P.
of
Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Yes.
But we saw what happened there, and you're like, God, this is Wolfman's got to go back to the drawing board now. It's like it's got they can't just do
You
another
literally
one.
sent the
No,
franchise back. Like,
yeah, like they got to
we
it's
were
got to
cool
wait.
with the Benicio del Toro one. You know what I mean? We were
Yeah,
like, oh, sweet, a new one. No, we should just go.
it,
You should have never had it in the first place.
yeah, it's got to go back to the back of the line, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's got to wait for its turn to come around again. Of
It's like,
like
who's next? The mummy? Okay, come. It's your turn. Come
yeah,
on.
here's the
Come on up.
mummy. Hope next, because we just had a
Oh,
Frankenstein,
the
right?
bride is coming as well, right?
We have we just had a Frankenstein. We had a mummy. We're gonna have the bride.
Mhm.
Uh, I okay. Here's a fun thing to like wrap up this episode here. What do you want to see next? Like, it's really just like
I know,
Creature in
teacher.
Black. Yeah, yeah. Okay, what
Yes,
do you think?
that one.
Yes,
That one.
okay.
That one.
Creature
Creature
of
from
Black
the Black
Lagoon.
Lagoon. Creature from the
Yeah,
Black Lagoon, because I feel that it hasn't been tried outside of B movie stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it hasn't
right.
been taken into that complex world. But then again, you're dealing with a freaking humanoid kind of sea monster. So
Yeah, like I mean, does Shape of Water count? Kind of, right? Like, because
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is a fish guy, but I do want the whole like I want the Black Lagoon. I want I want what Mummies got, and like I wouldn't mind. Like I just do it. Like just do a scary Black Lagoon monster movie. Like just
Yeah,
go
I
for it,
just hope
right?
it doesn't like resemble Chud or humanoids from the deep or anything like that because it can come close to getting to that
But you're
depending on where
right.
the
Like
story goes. That's
yeah,
I think
like
that's why people stayed
too
away from
close
it
to
for so long.
cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
100%. But that said, like here we are with Lee Cronin's The Mummy, not looking
yeah.
like cheese at all, not looking campy, not looking B movie esque. It looks like a quality slow burn horror movie from Blumhouse, which is like they need one of these. All right, they need one
They
of
need
these.
one. You've got Paramount knocking on your door. I mean, you know, like they Paramount have like when you look at their slate of horror movies and when you look at Blumhouse, you look at Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and you're like, oh boy, uh, from the same studio that brought you Five Nights at Freddy's
Yeah.
2, right? Brought you Megan 2.0 from the same studio, and you're like,
Ouch.
yeah, and oh boy, they need one. Like they got that Obsession movie coming that I or is that oh no, okay, so horror Paramount has this one called like Possessor or something like that. Like
Yes.
yeah,
There's
that's why I thought they were the same thing for a little bit. And
yeah. For a
it's
second, I
also
was like,
red and
wait, is that
black
the same
font.
movie? Obsession, Possessor. There's listen, like all that said, there's a slew of different horror movies coming out right now that are not Blumhouse,
Yes.
and like you have Psycho Killer coming out this week. You have Scream the following week. You have
Paramount.
Obsession. You have Possessor. You know, you have like these
Undertone,
studios.
which is that other
Yes,
A24 one.
Undertone from A24.
Neon's got their movies that
Yeah,
like
so
yeah, so
Blumhouse, the one who's
Clubhouse
been at the forefront of these horror releases, right? The hey,
right.
let's put in Invisible Man, right? That was like
Yeah.
they're still holding on to that one for dear life because it was so good. But
Yeah.
we have to give Jason Blum and his studio a chance here because they have put out quality movies, and I'm really hoping that this one is that one for them. They haven't had a good quality
Yeah.
release
It's
in well over a year now.
it sucks because it's like, you can't dog on Blumhouse either because it's just like because they've done it, right? It's like, yeah,
Yes.
like just because exactly what you said, where it's like
Mhm.
they have they have a track record at all, which is
Yes.
just a big deal that they for a long time they were the only studio that recognized you that's what it is, Arturo. Like your tinfoil hat kind of theory, where it's like you've got
Mhm.
other studios who figured out that people want to see these movies, and so you've got it's a bigger bidding war for the coolest sounding movies, and they used to go to Blumhouse. They
Yeah,
used to
didn't
just go
Texas
straight
Chainsaw
there.
just get picked up by Glenn Powell and, like,
Yeah,
his business partner for
yes.
A24, right?
Yes, that's exactly it. And you've got studios competing now. Blumhouse used to be it, and that's why they had so many hits because
Mhm.
they were the only ones making horror at this level,
They were the
right?
only
And
ones who
now,
dared to step in there, spend their money,
yes,
and take the losses with the releases, you know? But this is why
yes,
they've made it to where they are right now because they've released a bunch of hits, and with those hits come a lot of losses, though. But they
yeah,
recognize that, and this is why they usually release a plethora of different movies. But
and this is
lately, it's
that's
been a
why they
lot of
need a
misses,
hit.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a lot of
they just
misses.
they need that hit, man. They need it.
Well, folks, we are hoping that this is a hit. Hopefully, we
Right.
come at you later on in a couple of months talking very positive about Lee Cronin's The Mummy. But again, this has been The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla. With me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. A big shout out goes to you guys for listening and for watching. Don't forget, we have all this content streaming on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast. Last but not least, big shout out always goes to my man Delvirus for all the artwork you've seen in front of you throughout the years. And always remember, folks, it is a scary world out there, but we are here to walk you through it.